All right. Good day, everybody. It is Tuesday, August the 16th, 2022. There's a few things in the news, but real quick, a little housekeeping before we do headline hits. Today will be the last headline hits until, it'll probably be close to next Wednesday before I get back, or even Thursday of next week before I do another headline hits. I'm going to be traveling for the next week. And so there won't be headline hits or devotions, but there will be evening shows. We will be doing a lot of broadcasting, but it will be remotely from Missouri and on the road. So just giving you guys that little heads up before we get started. And let's hit the headlines. So here's a really cute article this morning that I caught out of Breitbart. I wanted to share that with you guys. Pennsylvania grandmother celebrates 100th great-grandchild. She's not celebrating a birthday. She's not celebrating grandchildren. She's celebrating her 100th great-grandchild. She says, quote, "I've always wanted a big family. Growing up as an only child, 99-year-old Peggy Kohler always wished to have a big family. She is now celebrating her 100th great-grandchild. Peggy, who was from Montgomery, Pennsylvania, came close to not having a large family as she desired because she applied to become a nun during high school." She says, quote, "I actually applied as a junior in high school to become a nun. However, William, her future husband, talked her out of it, and they eventually got married. Together, they had 11 children and then welcomed a whopping 56 grandchildren, which resulted in their 100th great-grandchild. So congratulations to Peggy and the family. What a great accomplishment in life. All right, here's a heads up for all of you. Allstate, State Farm, those places that we all go to get car insurance, house insurance, motorcycle insurance. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. If you guys have a policy with Allstate, I want to let you know where your funds are going. So the profit that they make off of your insurance that you pay each and every month, they take a percentage of that, and this is what they fund. Allstate Foundation funds organizations that push critical race theory into classrooms. So you want to know what they're using your money for that you have purchased insurance through? There you have it. Allstate Foundation, a project of Allstate Insurance Company, sponsors 2 different organizations that advance critical race theory in American K through 12 schools. I think that's all I really need to say. If you are using Allstate, there's where your money goes. If you don't like it, then I would go out immediately and find a different company to do business with. All right, Peter Stark. Listen to this. The American public should trust the FBI and Mar-a-Lago raid. Monday on MSNBC's Morning Joe, former FBI agent Peter Stark weighed in on the department's recent raid on former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago. Trump described the raid as putting his home under siege in a move that has never happened to a president of the United States before. Now listen to his response. Host Joe Scarborough asked Stark if there was any reason the American people should not trust the FBI. Stark said that, quote, "The American public should trust what the FBI is doing," end quote, in seizing documents from the president's home. Absolutely, the American public should trust what the FBI is doing, Stark advised. Now, here is a quote, and I want to highlight this for you guys. You know, what's funny is I think back the year or year and a half that I spent with a team looking at Hillary Clinton's use of private email server, he continued. There was no concern. There was no outrage on behalf of any Republican as we used search warrants, as we went out and did a very invasive investigation to try to get to the bottom of what she did or did not do. So it's not that the FBI is targeting any one side or the other. What you see is the FBI going on a day in, day out basis, objectively investigating allegations of law. So do you want to know what LW thinks about this article and what this guy is saying? I think it's absolute horse, you know what? Okay? They didn't do a damn thing about Hillary Clinton. Let's see, FBI agent. What did you do when she wiped over 33,000 emails, when they destroyed their devices with a hammer? You did nothing. You are targeting political opposition. You are not being objective in your investigations. What I call this man and his statements is lie, lie, lie. All right, next article. 2/3 of Biden voters have a dim view of U.S. economy. President Joe Biden attempts to talk up his U.S. economy, but it is not convincing many Americans, even his own supporters. The most recent poll from the economists of YouGov show that only 66% of Biden voters say that the economy is either poor or fair. Only 5% say the economy is excellent. Again, who the hell are these 5 people saying that the economy is excellent? I'd like to know who these 5 people are so I can smack them upside the head with a 2x4. All right, I've had enough of that article. Let's move on to the next one. Here you go. More coming out in the news. Hunter Biden made millions after meeting with VP Joe Biden about Romanian real estate deal. Did you hear what I said? I said Hunter Biden made millions. Millions. Hunter Biden reportedly met with his father, then Vice President Joe Biden, in the White House on multiple occasions immediately following meetings with the Romanian officials, presumably pertaining to high-profile deal he was involved with the Romanian real estate mogul. So he bought 550-acre parcel of government-owned land and with a steep discount. This is all coming out from the New York Post, who is reporting this from Hunter's laptop from hell. All right, next headline. Let's hit it. Allegedly, passports seized at Mar-a-Lago could undermine Trump's civil rights. Now listen to this. This is very interesting. President Donald Trump claims that his passports were seized in an FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago last week. The major legal implications of any investigation to him, it could mean his Fourth Amendment rights were violated in the search. As Breitbart News reported earlier on Monday, former President Donald Trump announced on Truth Social, which if you're not on Truth Social yet, highly recommend that you guys open an account on Truth Social, and you can find me over there at Liberty Warrior Nation. You can also find Tammy over there at Tammy Nation. So much information coming out on Truth Social. If you're not there yet, you're truly missing out. So in the raid by the FBI of Mar-a-Lago, they stole my 3 passports, 1 expired, along with everything else. This is an assault on a political opponent at a level never seen before in this country. It is third world, end quote from President Trump. The unusual and perhaps accidental taking of Trump's passports could mean that the DOJ would be unable to use at least some of the materials seized in the raid in any prosecution of the former president. Already, it is risking violating his Sixth Amendment rights by seizing materials that may include privileged attorney-client communications, which are meant to be shielded from investigation. Here is the Fourth Amendment as reads: the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describe the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. That, folks, is your Fourth Amendment right. All right, next headline. LA claims 27% error rate in recall signatures, 1% rate in mail-in ballots in 2020. LA County reported Monday that over 27% of signatures submitted on petition to recall DA George Gascon were invalid after reporting that less than 1% of the mail-in ballots were invalid in 2020 election. Now, I'm not going to read anymore. If you guys want to catch that, you can catch it in Breitbart. Here's the point. Here's the point. They were recalling a George Soros-backed DA in Los Angeles County. They are claiming that there's not enough signatures for a recount because 27% of the signatures submitted by petition were invalid. 27%. That's a pretty high number. But yet only 1% of the mail-in ballots of the 2020 election were invalid. Do you see where I'm going with this? Do you see where I'm going with this? Liar, liars, pants on fire. These guys are admitting right here in this article that they're cheating. All right, next headline. Trump team drops email providing FBI wrongly seized passports after DOJ, listen, here you go, attempted to mislead public with spin. That's what we talk about here all the time on LWN. If you're new, welcome. But this is lamestream media at its best. They lie, they spin, they twist, they promote propaganda. They always have an agenda. So Trump's legal team demolished the DOJ media spin that denied having former presidents' passports in their possession following the FBI's raid on Mar-a-Lago last week. On Monday, former President Trump claimed on his social media platform, Truth Social, that they stole his passports during the raid that shook the political world last week. In the raid, the FBI of Mar-a-Lago stole my 3 passports. 1 expired along with everything else, he said. This is an assault on a political opponent at a level never seen before in this country, third world. As Breitbart News noted, the passports were not independently itemized on the FBI's property receipt of the 28 inventory items the federal agents seized. So they didn't even document it. They tried to cover it up. They tried to hide it. A warrant, which Attorney General Garland says he approved and was signed by Magistrate Judge Bruce Reinhart, did not state that they could take Trump's passports, the report noted. Typically, the government needs a separate court order to seize someone's passports, even temporarily. According to Nora O'Donnell of CBS News, now listen to this. This is her statement. The DOJ official said that former President Trump's passports were not in their possession, one of which presumably would have been a diplomatic passport. But according to the DOJ official, the FBI is not in possession of former President Trump's passports. Trump had accused the FBI of stealing his 3 passports during the search of Mar-a-Lago. So this representative, this official came out and said, Trump's lying. We don't have it in our possession. But oopsie daisies. Guess what happened? Shortly after NORAD's post, Taylor Budwich, the former President Trump's communication director, shared an email from Jay Bratt that the top counterintelligence official in the Justice Department National Security Division confirmed that the 3 passports were seized in the raid, that they would be returned to the former president soon. Now, why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up, folks, because we're being lied to constantly. The FBI is lying to us. The Biden administration lies to us. They lied to us about the 19 sickness. Lies after lies after lies after lies. When I just read you the article, can the FBI be trusted in this investigation? There's my point. They can't be trusted. What did they plant in any of those boxes or evidence when they wanted Trump to turn the cameras off and they wouldn't allow his lawyer inside that area when they were pulling information out of there, when they were seizing assets? There you have it. Can they be trusted? In my opinion, absolutely not. All right, Biden's inflation. His inflation reduction bill will not cut prices for working class, middle class Americans anytime soon. Listen to this, folks. When you didn't think it could get any worse, President Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act will not be cutting consumer prices for working and or middle class Americans anytime soon. That's what the Washington Post admits. Last week, House and Senate Democrats passed a $700 billion Inflation Reduction Act, which would set to spend billions on green energy projects, as well as more funding for the IRS, a huge ramp up in audits for American taxpayers. You know, it's always with this administration, Americans last, America last. Let's put China and everyone else before America. I don't know who the 42 people in America that voted for this guy was, but I really hope that you guys are seeing what you got here. This is just horrific. This is a complete dumpster fire. Ass clown administration is doing nothing but destroying America. And I hope the 42 people in America that voted for this guy is very proud of their decision. All right, last headline for today. Wyoming, stay on point. Today is your day. Today is your day to show Liz Cheney and her fat, you know what, right out the door. Okay. Liz Cheney rakes in nearly $1 million from Texas establishment, including George Bush and Karl Rove. Now, today is the day of election where Liz Cheney is going to be shown the door. Why I'm spotlighting this article is I want you to see how these politicians are bought and paid for, how they're selected and not elected. Representative Liz Cheney, a Republican from Wyoming, which she is not, just so you guys know, she has collected more Democrat finances, more Democrat sponsors than she has Republican. She has actually collected more outside of her state support financially than she has in her own state of Wyoming. She has raked in nearly $1 million from Texas donors, including former President George W. Bush and his so-called architect, Karl Rove, the Houston Chronicle reported on Monday. According to the Federal Election Commissions, Cheney has raised $950,000 from Texas, which is the second greatest contributing state to her reelection campaign. So Texas is sending her money, California is sending her money, and Colorado is sending her money. This is the question. Why the hell are other states sending her money? They don't live in Wyoming. They have nothing to do with Wyoming. Why I'm bringing this up is Liz Cheney, amongst many other politicians out there, Mitch the Turtle Man McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Mitt Romney, Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. These guys are bought and paid for by outside interest, by outside money. So I'm telling you guys right now, Wyoming, chin up, stand tall, go to the voting box today and show this lady the door. Please, for the love of God, show this lady right out of the state of Wyoming. Get rid of her. It's time to make a change in Wyoming. All right, folks, that's all we have for today for Headline Hits. I will be back later this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Big Show. It's going to be a good one. Love y'all. God bless.